Good afternoon, good evening, folks. Today we're going to build a Kubernetes SRE agent using AgentUp. I'm going to do this from the beginning. I do have some configs that I put together earlier to save you watching me type. But as you'll see, most of this we're going to do live. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to need to run AgentUp in it because we're creating a new agent. And we will call this our Kubernetes SRE agent. So I'm just going to go with some stock options here. I am going to go for an iterative agent. That is a goal-driven autonomous agent. It's able to plan, decompose into tasks, and then iterate through those tasks until it believes it reaches a goal. So we're going to select iterative here. I'm going to be quite generous. I wouldn't need it, but I'm going to give it 50 iterations. Yes, it would want memory. And then we'll jump into the customization here. So we need some authentication, state management, an AI provider, MCP. And we may as well grab some deployment as well. I'm not going to bother with middleware. Okay, I'm just going to persist state to file for now. I'm going to go for a simple API key because it's just a quick demo, save us setting up OAuth and so forth. We will go for GitHub container registry, I believe it is. Yep, might as well. So let's call that AgentUp for our namespace and OpenAI. And yes, I want streaming responses. So our agent is now ready to go. So if we step into our directory, and we have our agent files. So the one that I want to focus on is the AgentUp YAML, which is the brain of AgentUp. So as you can see, AgentUp's runtime is declarative. So you can effectively set everything in a single point of truth here with the idea this is a portable configuration. So this can be shared between people and then stored within a repository. So what we're going to do is we're not going to use any plugins today, which is where you get your customization features into AgentUp. We're going to focus on MCP, and we just got a generic weather server here. So like I said, I have something that I prepared earlier that I'm going to grab, which is for the Kubernetes MCP server. So let's just take that. We're going to do a bit of copy and pasta for now. I'll just quickly walk you through what is going on here. So these are the tools that are available within the Kubernetes MCP server. I like to call them capabilities myself, but tools, I believe, is the term. And then you can see each tool we've mapped to a scope, which is a security permission. And then what I will need to do is come back to our one that we cooked earlier, and you're going to see I'm going to delegate these scopes to an API key. Okay, so you can now see that I have a scope hierarchy. So there's a kind of top-down scope hierarchy system that we have. And you wouldn't do this. I've gone wildcard just because it's quicker for a demo. And you can see I've delegated myself the scope of admin. So I can do absolutely everything. But if you wanted to, you can drill down to very specific levels of control around what the MCP server is capable of doing, or rather what is presented to the model as available. So the model won't even be aware of tools that it has no scope for. And if for some reason it did try to use them, it would be denied as well. Now I've got a very simple fixed key here. Like I said, this is just a simple API key. Typically these scopes would be within a signed token. And so you would validate the sign in, and then you would extract the scopes, and then you would map them to the capabilities to see if you've been granted those capabilities. The other thing that we're going to need, which is just last of all, is I have a system prompt, which is specific to a Kubernetes SRE. I shouldn't probably use the word SRE. It might be a little bit controversial. It's kind of a human thing, but it was just a name that came to mind. So that is it. Our agent is configured now. So what we can do is I'm just going to create a virtual environment and synchronize that. And I'm going to do UV run AgentUp. No reload because I don't want the server to bounce if there's any changes. So that's just going to take a second. So it'll just be pulling stuff in, and we can see the scopes have been registered and the server is up and running. We have our middleware. So we've got our state system for state persistence of the conversation and so forth, and our MCP integration. So now what I will do is I will come across to, I have this front end that we use. So the idea is that the client can call A2A JSON RPC methods into the agent. So that's essentially what this front end does. And you can see that it's pulled out that there are these tools that are available, which it's managed to get from the skills, the A2A skills. So in AgentUp, we expose MCP tools as A2A skills. So that means that they are discoverable capabilities. So if an agent required, hey, I need another agent to tell me what pods are running, or what's the state of the cluster. It can then discover the Kubernetes SRE agent has that capability, and then there can be an exchange around access and security and so forth. So we now have this up and running, and so we're going to start a conversation. So I'm going to try and do something chained, because this is an iterative agent. So I might say, this is really coming fresh out the oven here. I haven't really planned for this. How many namespaces do I have in my cluster? And which namespaces contain, I'm typing blind here because my camera is in the way, which namespaces contain the most pods? Okay, we'll give that a try. So you can see that's coming. It's the authentication has gone through. The agent is out, asked what tools are available, and it's selected namespaces list. So we're starting to see the tasks come back now, and now it's doing a pods list in namespace. So you can see we have, first of all, we have our namespaces. Secondly, we have our pods. Okay, so it's telling us the total amount of pods. So we can see the most pods are in the AgentUp cluster. Total namespaces. Now the kind of the formatting is a little bit rinky-dink here. This is just a very simple prototype front end that we use here just for checking things, but you can see it's completed its task now. So it broke this down into 3 tasks, listed all the namespaces in the cluster, counted the number of pods in each namespace, identified and ranked namespaces based on number of pods. So this is an iterative agent. It's given a goal, it decomposes into tasks, it then iterates through those tasks until it reaches the goal. So we can maybe now follow up with something. I'm probably pushing the boat out here, but I could say, how long have the pods been running within the AgentUp cluster? So again, we can see the security authentication clears that. It comes in, it's saying what functions are available. And again, it's calling the MCP pods list in namespace for the AgentUp namespace. Okay, there we go. So the longest running pod is create admin, which has been completed for 40 days. So that would typically be something that is deleted. Am I brave enough to delete this? Gosh. Okay, let's give it a go for science. I'll take it on the chin if it doesn't work. So please remove the completed pod. Okay, let's see. So pods delete. So completed the pod was successfully deleted. And then I could say I could follow up with verify the pod has actually been removed. So you'll notice there's a confidence score. So you can in fact set a threshold for what you're comfortable around a confidence. So if it comes back with low confidence, then you can have it iterate again and complete that again. So yeah, so it's showing that the remaining pods do not have a create admin pod because that's been removed. And we are completed. Again, there's 100% confidence on this. So that's just an idea of how quickly you can build an agent. With AgentUp, all of the trappings are involved. Everything is cared for. You essentially need to set a persona for the agent, give it some tools, and then send it to and then send it to work. There is quite a bit more that you can do with AgentUp. I'll be showing that shortly. I mean, it gets quite interesting where you get agent collaboration. That's something that we're just tweaking a little bit, but I'll be doing some demonstrations of that soon. And I will leave it there. But any questions, anybody's curious about direction of a project or would like to try it out, have some ideas from agents. We are actually having an agent workshop this Friday. I'll post about that soon so people can come along and build their own agents. Whatever type of agent you want to try and build, you can do that. Thank you, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.